What's up, guys? Welcome to Tactical Leprechaun EDC. So I decided to start this channel because a lot of times I watch content about gear, about everyday carry items, and about just generally being prepared for everyday life. And a lot of times I feel like people talk about stuff as though everybody knows what they're talking about. And sometimes people, be it because maybe they went through some sort of hardship, storm took out their power and they had to live for a week without power, or whatever, maybe their car broke down and they weren't prepared to deal with that. They get into this stuff and then people sort of, in their videos they talk like everybody's been doing this for years. For instance, I hear people talk about, certain things like EDC, for instance, and not explain that that's what you carry with you every day. So, with that in mind, I've decided to start this channel, and this is going to be more of a beginner from the basics channel. So today, we're going to talk about what is EDC and what should you carry. So to a lot of people, this is going to be fairly obvious, but EDC stands for everyday carry, or the things that you have with you every day. For instance, pretty well everybody today has their phone, their keys, their wallet. For me, I carry AirPods with me every day because they're tiny and I love being able to talk hands-free on the phone or listen to some tunes. But maybe there's some things that you could carry that would help you, maybe you go to work early in the morning and the sun hasn't come up yet, or maybe you get off work later at night and the sun's already gone down. Maybe you should think about carrying a flashlight. Flashlights can be really handy for a variety of things. Maybe you're walking to your car after work and it's dark in the parking lot. Maybe the lights are out. Maybe your place of employment doesn't have lights in the parking lot. Maybe you dropped your keys on your way out the door and it's dark out and you can't find them. Your phone has a built-in flashlight, but frankly, it's very inefficient. It's a huge drain on your phone's battery, and I know half of you are walking around with your phone at or below 20%, probably right now. So, if something happens and your phone is dead or dying, maybe you're going to need that in an emergency situation. It's nice to have a standalone flashlight, something like this, or you can go with something a little smaller that runs off of a single AA battery. Give you some light, let you see what you're doing. Maybe you're changing a tire on the side of the road. Be nice to have some light for that. In a lot of these situations, either your phone might not cut it, or it might just be dead. Before I talk about this next item, I want to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. The sponsor of today's video is Tactical Leprechaun EDC, your #1 source for feeling better about your own life. So the next thing that I recommend carrying on your person at all times, if you can, some people might live in a state where you can't. There's some places you aren't going to be able to take these, but where I live, pretty much everywhere, I can carry a pocket knife. So be it something big or a little bit smaller, something for cutting to open boxes, maybe cut zip ties, some sort of a cutting implement. You'll find you get a lot more use out of than you maybe think that you might if you've never carried a knife before. You can get knives that range in price anywhere from maybe $10 at your local Walmart all the way up to you can spend pretty much as much money as you'd like to on a single knife. Trust me, I've looked, they get very expensive. Again, check your local laws. Make sure that if you do decide to carry a knife, what you're carrying and where you're carrying it is legal. Wouldn't want you to get in trouble. But again, knives can be super handy to have on you for a variety of reasons. And as we speak, my cameraman is currently disassembling his for some reason.
Lube.
The next thing I'd recommend carrying, and this might be something a lot of you already do carry, is something to write with.
I have a pen.
Be it a pen, a pencil, a Sharpie. Doesn't really matter what it is, just something you can jot down notes with, be that something you need to remember, leaving a note for somebody else. Maybe you need to make a grocery list. And to pair with that, some sort of a notebook or note cards or something to write on to make your notes. There's been a lot of times where I've thought that I would remember something and should have written it down and didn't, and then had to reset a password. Or
You never remember.
That's not true. Half the time I type in the right password.
3 passwords ago.
It just doesn't work anyways. Y'all ever forget crap at the grocery store? I do, all the time. Should have written it down. Moving on. Another thing you might consider carrying with you, and frankly this could replace your knife because, well, it has a blade on it already, is the Many Much knife, or a multi-tool. These can be very handy for a number of reasons. Most of them fold open and have a pair of pliers in them. Very handy. This one has a couple of screwdrivers. I think it has a can opener. These can be infinitely useful, and I carry one on me every day because, well, I use it a lot. An important thing to keep in mind if you do choose to carry a multi-tool is that while it does a lot of things, it doesn't excel at any one thing particularly. It's just handy to have a lot of different tools on you in one small package.
That's what she said.
Another thing that can be a part of your EDC, or really more something you wear typically, is going to be a watch. It's a really good idea to have a watch on you so that you're not late for things, Rem.
I feel attacked.
Moving on. Another thing that might be handy to keep in your pocket is just a basic lighter. This one happens to be a clipper. Bic lighters, anything like that, super lightweight, real small, easy to throw in any pocket. And you never know when you might need to light that candle that your buddy's wife leaves in the bathroom, if you know what I mean. So the last thing I want to talk about today is going to be the most controversial thing. That's going to be something for self-defense. Yeah, I know I said you should carry a knife, but a knife is not for self-defense. Maybe in a last-ditch effort, but realistically, nobody wins a knife fight. You don't want to do that. So, maybe you decide to take it upon yourself to go out, do some research, get some training. If your state requires it, maybe you get a permit to carry one, and you get you one of these. Obviously, this is a joke, but a firearm. I personally carry a firearm every day to protect myself and people I care about from those who would intend to do us harm, whether it be while I'm out with my family or my friends, or just out by myself doing my day-to-day thing. That's going to be a personal decision that you have to make as to whether you want to take that upon yourself to be the defender of yourself, your family, and your friends. It's something that you have to really think about, but personally, I've thought about it, I've done the research, and I've decided that it is worth the risk, because there is some risk associated with it. But in the end, I'd rather have the ability to defend the people that I care about. So those are some of the things that I carry on me every day, and I find them to be quite useful on a day-to-day basis. Let me know down in the comments if you should happen to watch this video, if I left anything off the list that maybe you carry every day and think that maybe I should look into. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in today, and as George Washington once said, keep that thing on you. New password can't be old password. Then why didn't that work?